So one of the worst scenarios to be in is to have locked steering lock on your 123 and you can't turn the car, start it or turn the steering. So this is a used unit just showing the little locking pin that you'll see under the dash. If you can turn the key, we can push that button in and slide the whole thing out. But if you cannot, that steering lock bolt remains out, and that's why you can't get the steering to turn, which incapacitates you if you have a worn key, as in my case, which wouldn't turn the car over. So that little hole there is where you actually need to slide the pin in to remove the barrel if you've got a key that works. This is from the underside of my dash. Now, at least I had the car in my garage, which is better than most people find themselves in. So I thought I'll hook it up so at least I can change the ignition unit over and I can turn the car over to charge the battery and distribute the oil. So the key doesn't turn. So what I did is I just connected the oil sensor line to a spare oil sensor cluster unit I had with the dash out, so oil doesn't spurt when you start the car. This is a spare unit I had, which worked well, and it's pretty easy to hook up. So I detached the cabling on the back of the stuck unit, you can see there, and it's got a locating lug, which means you can only put the unit in one way. So I then just hooked up this other unit, and that way at least I could turn the car over. Don't worry, I did get it started. That little electrical switch there is actually, I think, for the light buzzer, in case you take the key out. I think that's what that is. So there we go. It's in place now, and I was able to turn the car over until my mechanic would come and give me a hand. So my mechanic had a custom unit that he had made because he'd been doing this for many decades, and basically it fits over the ignition unit. It's not a socket, it's just a smooth cylinder that fits that pretty well, and then you can just torque this thing off. I was very worried about the dash cracking, which didn't happen. I've got to replace the dash anyway because it is cracked on top, but you can see now that the unit's broken and we're able to get this out in two pieces. You probably don't want to do this if you don't have access to another ignition mechanism, because a wrecker would probably charge a bit for one, but I had some spare, so I wasn't fazed by this and had no alternative. So you can see now where it's snapped, and that's the main unit with the protection mechanism over the ignition barrel. The ignition barrel can come out if you've got a turning key, but otherwise now, at least I've got the whole mechanism out. That barrel protector can be drilled off to reveal the key part number, and so I'm hoping my mechanic's going to be able to do this so I can order the factory key, which will undo the door locks as well, and I can even order another barrel. So that's the other half, and I need to slide that pin out to get that all out. That little button is the bit you can drill out from the bottom as an alternative means of doing it, but that would not be fun on your back. And so to get that bit out of the car, I had to pull this pin out, which enabled the button to slide in, and I just did that with a pair of pliers. And so that's how I managed to change the ignition barrel.